What is up, my triggers? Eccentrik Hat here, and I have a sore voice, mainly because I've been entertaining Rachel all day.
Yeah.
Primarily by doing Mr. Krabs' voice. I like money! There we go. Like, my voice seems to have moved from my normal voice into an area. You know how when you do deep voices, you hurt the back of your throat, right? It's no longer sore for me to I like money! It's no longer sore for me to do that. But I can't talk, so I seem to have descended into some netherworld.
Yeah, just do the whole thing in Mr. Krabs' voice.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Anyway, right, so, fuck you. Anyway, by the way, I made a new friend.
Really?
Yes. What? Do you not think that's possible? Don't go silent. No, right, I can see your look, but, you go silent. I've made a new friend.
Oh, right. Well, who?
Well, on World of Warcraft now, I play World of Warcraft.
Yeah, you play
Which is not very sad, right? No matter what people say, it's still the biggest MMO on the marketplace.
Yeah, with loot boxes.
No, it's not. It's not got loot boxes.
Really? I
No.
thought you said Blizzard introduced loot boxes.
No. I never... You want me to get kicked off? Right, no, I never said that.
They're coming if... Oh, it's alright, mate. They already know where you live.
Yeah. Anyway, so I made a new friend on World of Warcraft, who, basically, without me, starting anything, told me pretty much, day one, she hates feminism. Right? I didn't put the idea in her head. I didn't bring up feminism.
Sure.
Fuck you, mate. Right? I didn't bring up feminism at all. Okay, this was one time. You know how I'm do you remember when I met Taylor Davis? Right?
Yeah,
and I brought up feminism.
The pretty violinist, yeah.
Yeah, the famous YouTube violinist, right?
She's awesome.
And I asked her about feminism. You know how I cannot be stopped, right? Remember when I went to Vegas and I talked to the strippers and I asked them about feminism, right? You know that I never stopped talking about feminism, yeah?
Yeah.
In this occasion, I didn't bring up feminism at all. She did, and she fucking despises it.
Keeper, mate. That's a keeper.
Yeah, so she's Irish, by the way.
Which part?
Northern Ireland.
Ah.
And she actually gets really pissed if you suggest that, you have to actually specify she's from Northern Ireland, because she gets really, really angry at anyone implying she's from the Republic.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm not going there.
Say Ireland. It's all the same.
No, it's not. That's the problem. Rachel, you're going to get bombed, you fucking fuck!
No, but she lives on the island of Ireland.
Yeah, she lives on the island of Ireland, right? But it's totally fucking different. What, do you live on the island of England?
No, I live in the island of Great Britain.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah,
Don't you forget that.
Yeah,
anyway, so the point is, she talked about how she hates it, and do you know what? She was very honest, right? She was very, very honest with me. And she basically told me that in her past, she has had abuse, right?
That's a shame.
You make that sound...
I don't mean that. I mean it in the most sincerest way possible.
Yes, genuinely you do, right? We both do.
Yes.
So she's had abuse in her past. And the thing is that she absolutely hates the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
Which really surprised me, because you would think that if you had abuse in your past...
You'd be all for it.
Exactly, right? Because it's
for you.
It's meant to be for abuse victims. But what she hates about it, and she says, I've met other girls who don't like the Me Too movement, and girls who have abuse in their past, right? But I was bringing her up because she reminded me of it. That she hates it because, essentially, the Me Too movement trivializes genuine abuse. So someone says, I was raped or molested or beaten or whatever, and then someone else says, I know how you feel because at some point a man touched my boob in an elevator.
The audacity, mate.
Yeah, and
We've
then then someone else is yeah, I know how you feel because someone tried to kiss me, kind of thing. And it's the Me Too movement ends up not empowering rape victims, but it ends up sort of drowning them in a sea of people who are not victims.
Yeah, it becomes a big massive blob, because basically whenever anyone comes out and says, oh, so-and-so sexually assaulted me, you're like, okay, what do you believe constitutes sexual assault? Because what you believe constitutes sexual assault might be rather minor.
Well, that's the thing.
He touched my boob or
Right.
whatever.
Well, I mean, like that's still to be fair, technically sexual assault, but
The
like
severity is not as severe
as in these girls are talking about like abuse that has ended their ability to trust and things like that. And it's like if someone brushes up against you in an elevator and elbows your breast, that is not abuse.
unless you're like Justin Trudeau or something.
Oh, Elbowgate. Do you remember that Justin Trudeau man when he punched that woman, right? When he punched that woman right in the tit, and then he called her a fat bitch and told her that this is Trump's Canada now. Like that was fucking terrible. I can't believe Trudeau did that.
His voice gives me the creeps. I don't know why.
Why? It's because he sounds like a serial killer.
Do you know what I mean? There's just something about it. It's still 2015, mate.
I know. It'll always be 2015 to Trudeau.
But
I remember when Janice Fiamengo, who's the she's a Canadian professor in Toronto.
oh yeah, I think I've seen her videos. Yeah.
Yeah. And she basically said, all right, so it's 2015, let's have a cabinet half women, right, who weren't elected. And it's like, well, in 2016, let's have a full cabinet of women, like, who weren't elected. After all, it's 2016.
That's quite good, actually. Didn't he fire like some of his cabinet over abortion or something?
Quite possibly. I imagine they were probably women as well.
It's just some people actually believe in pro-life. I mean, do they not deserve representation? No.
Well, that's the thing. Like, as in, it's weird when you get grassroots versus cultural narrative, because the cultural narrative is that everybody should agree with pro-choice or they are a bad human being who want to control women's bodies. Oh no, they're all men as well, right? They're all the patriarchs, and then you get the grassroots, because about 50% of the electorate are pro-life. Around that. I mean, it might vary from place to place, but it's almost half of the electorate are pro-life, but they're not the cultural narrative. The cultural narrative is pro-choice. So it's weird when you basically say, we are half of the population, do we not deserve half of the representation? It's like, no, because that goes against what's culturally, that's not culturally acceptable. You may be half the population, you may be entitled to half the vote, but you're wrong half the time.
It's just, okay, I'll be honest, I'm pro-life, right? So it's just weird as being a woman and then being told you hate women. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Sorry, I need to punish Rachel for being pro-life. Rachel, come here.
Don't do that, man. They'll think it's serious and they'll come and find you.
I know, I'm still going to get fucked again. Right, people are like, now, because they were pure like, I can't believe that you interrupt Rachel when she's speaking and stuff, and now it's going to be like, I can't believe on radio that you beat the shit out of her. But basically back to Me Too, right? Hollywood, right, it's a very seedy place. Because what happens when you give people a lot of power and a lot of money is that you get a lot of sex.
And drugs.
Yeah. And that, like, I don't like that. I'm not a particularly sex crazy person myself, right? As you may know, right? As may be aware. Like,
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, because I'm fucking out every night shagging the town, right? But anyway, the point is that in Hollywood, there's a lot of accusations of rape, right, that have come about because of the Me Too thing. And Hollywood has always had sex scandals, okay? But there's a huge difference between sexing your way into a part, right? Buying yourself a role in a film through sex,
Yeah.
and being raped, okay? Now, I don't agree with either of them, because I think bribery to get into a particular place, whether you do it through money, whether you do it through favours, whether you do it through sex, I don't agree with any of that. I think that people should be given the role or not based on their talent and nothing else, right? But we have to make a very strong definition between someone who can say no and chooses not to because it's good for their career.
It's advantageous.
It's advantageous, yeah.
Yes, that's the one.
And someone who cannot say no. Rape is not when someone offers you the chance to further your career by doing something that you don't want to do. That's not rape. Rape is when someone gives you no choice whatsoever.
Like you're doing it.
Yeah, that's... rape is the inability to refuse, right? When you say no and the other person doesn't care, that's rape. Okay, so a director who says, well, if you want to play the part of whatever, I don't know, like name a fucking Cinderella or something, right? If you want to be the part of Cinderella, you're going to have to have sex with me. That's wrong. That's definitely, illegal in terms of workplace, etiquette, right? That should definitely be a crime, but it should not be considered rape. And unfortunately, a lot of the Me Too stuff is, bringing up scenarios like that. Oh yes, my producer or director or something once offered, to have sex with me to further my career. And it's that's disgusting. That's horrible, right? I don't approve of that in the slightest, but it's not rape.
And they should totally be called out for it, yeah.
Yeah.
But
you should call them out, but you shouldn't say that this is, a society that is pro-rape. It's not a society that's pro-rape. It's very much anti-rape. Otherwise, a movement like the Me Too movement couldn't exist. It drives me nuts when people say, oh, the patriarchy is so strong. It's shut up! Because if the patriarchy was so strong, feminism wouldn't exist.
Yeah, Liam Neeson is right though, it's becoming a witch hunt now.
Do you not think that was fucking dangerous as fuck, man? Liam Neeson better have clean underwear, right? In every single one of his trousers. Because there is no way you can say something like that and not bear down the entire angry force of a million bitches.
Yeah, exactly. I tried to kiss a girl when he was 12.
Yeah, yeah. I bet, right? Who was it? Was it Avril Lavigne that sang "I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It"?
No, that's Katy Perry, mate.
Katy Perry, right? Sang "I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It." I bet that's rape culture. I
kissed a girl.
Yeah, it's the new version of it. It's I kissed a girl with consent and I liked it.
Because it's not. Okay, I'm going to be honest, right? See, you always see this stuff in romance films where guys, go in for the kiss and girls just go, and then they go for it, right? It's romantic, it's nice, and sometimes you get into scenarios where someone might do that, but as long as they take the signal with, you weren't meant to do that.
Right. Well, you remember Lacey Green, right? Back before she was
converted.
Yeah, back before she became the new Saul, right?
Yeah.
Turning into Saint Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, before that, and wrote letters to the Corinthians, right? She wrote letters to the Chris Reagans.
Nice one.
But before that, right? She had on her Braless show. There was sketches taken from famous movies like Love Actually and The Notebook, right? Where they took, some of the kind of climactic scenes where
the most famous one.
Yeah, where the boyfriend, does something crazy, in Love Actually has all these placards that say I love you and my best friend's in the next room, but I love you even more than he does. The girls go apeshit because it's totally it's putting them on the spot and it's too much pressure. In The Notebook when the guy hangs from the
roller coaster.
It's a big wheel, right?
Oh,
the Ferris wheel. Yeah. When he hangs from the treadmill. Let's just fuck it up, right?
It's the same.
See when he's hanging from the Empire State Building, right? See when it's King Kong. Do you remember that film King Kong, right? Where King Kong's hanging from the roller coaster and he's you need to marry me, right? In The Notebook, when at the end the guy's hanging from the roller coaster.
No, it's not the end. That's the beginning.
I don't know. I never watched the fucking Notebook. Right? Do you think I give a shit? Do you think anyone listening gives a shit?
It's a good film, but it's cute.
Right, but you're so not getting the point here.
Okay.
This is all about hypocrisy.
Well, you need to put it in its proper context.
Right, this is about a non-appreciation. Oh fuck. Right. Anyway, point is
that part of the film. Right?
Yeah. See the part of the film, whatever it is, in the fucking Marvel bonus scene at the end, right? When he's hanging from the big wheel, okay. And he basically says to her, if you don't go out with me, I'll jump off because life won't be worth living without you. Like that is like, you know, so romantic, and all the girls in the audience are kind of like, oh, I wish a man did that for me, and he showed how he truly, truly loved me, right? Because all I've got is some fat fuck at home that's basically, where's my dinner, right? I wish there was a man who was willing to climb to the top, which is probably illegal, of a Ferris wheel to tell me how much he loves me.
Or like Jack or something.
Whereas, or Jack from Titanic, right? Whereas in the Lacey Green like sketches, the girls basically, you know, gave the men into trouble, and it's like, how dare you put pressure on me? That's totally unfair, and you're taking away my liberties and stuff like that. It's like, it's meant to be a romance. It's meant to be someone showing love. God forbid, when we find the person we want to spend the rest of our life with, God forbid we show them some passion, right? Like, as in, it's just. Why defend? Like, what do they want stories to look like in the future? Do they want stories to look like that meme, right, of Snow White, where the prince is going to kiss her and like raise her from the dead, but then he's like, oh, she hasn't given me consent for this, and so he walks away, and then like the next scene is 100 years later, and she's a skeleton.
Girls love romance.
Yeah. It's not boys that are reading like all these romance novels and going to see rom-coms. I don't know if you've noticed, but it tends to be them bitching about how if they have to go watch the
50 Shades of Grey or something.
They have to go watch the rom-coms, otherwise they don't get sex.
Oh my god, I need to tell you this quickly. Do you know, I saw a poster for the 50 Shades, because it's the last one, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what the poster said?
50 grades darker, still suck my cock.
Close, mate. It's like, it's time for the climax.
Oh. Fuck! See, they talk about men being disgusting, right? You bitches, this is nothing but your fault, right? I hate all of you, because E.L. James challenge everything, right? I hate all of you, because I remember back when Twilight, and like 50 Shades of Grey is just like the Twilight, it's the Twilight fan fiction, that became an actual book.
Like, what the fuck?
But back when this started with Twilight and how Edward was like this totally controlling fuck, I remember there was all these videos by people like Anita Sarkeesian that was like, boys, you have to stop being so controlling, and it's terrible that girls like controlling boys and they fancy Edward, because that just shows how strong the patriarchy is. And it was like, why is this our fault? Why do we always get blamed for this, right? Some bitch, some fat fucking ugly bitch steals from some other bitch who wrote about a cunt going to Hogwarts. Some bitch says, I'm going to write about another cunt that's a vampire and I'm going to get so much money, right? And then all the girls buy it, all the girls love it, and then some other fat fucking English bitch, it goes full circle, right? Some other fat fucking English bitch then writes an even worse story about an even weirder guy, and it's all our fault! We did fuck all! We're not even in the credits, and we get fucking shafted!
Bravo,
this is why my voice is gone.
That was amazing. Oh, that was great.
Yeah. The point is, right, that girls are the ones making these books, girls are the ones reading these books. I don't know why girls are also the ones complaining about these books and how the patriarchy has infested. The patriarchy was nowhere near it. Right? Not in the writing, not in the reading. The patriarchy had nothing to do with it.
To be honest, I saw the 50 Shades of Grey actor guy. He's Irish.
Is he?
I don't know if he's from the north or the south. Clearly that's an important distinction.
When you say you saw him, do you mean down the pub?
Aye, mate.
Yeah.
But he just, I don't know, he seemed kind of embarrassed.
Well, wouldn't you be?
It's like, oh, Robert Pattinson takes that, mate.
I love Robert Pattinson's, like, the fact that he despises Twilight so much, that's so funny.
He's just like, why did I get this part? I shouldn't have shagged somebody for this part.
Yeah. See, it's a bit ironic, isn't it? That that you've got like Me Too, right? Which is basically saying Hollywood is too full of like people asking for sex in return for roles and things like that, which I agree with, okay? As I said, it's not rape, but it's not right. But then you've also got films like 50 Shades of Grey coming out at the same time, which is all about this billionaire who like, has sex with his secretary or something like that, and
Aye, like it's into all that.
And it has all these weird kinks.
Aye.
Yeah, like it's kind of like you can't basically say we want, you know, to fall in love with this movie idea, but we think that anybody who kind of
likes that idea.
Yeah, anybody who does the same thing, like in real life, that's like the exact example of the patriarchy.
Well, because in the terms of in films and books, it's because it makes them money.
Yeah, money. I like money.
Exactly, like that. I mean, and it makes them feel good. You know what I mean? Like you see them at the Grammys or whatever. What is it? The Oscars?
Yeah, you saw them all in their black dress. They were all at a funeral. Yeah.
Like not even just that. Like it just gets to the point where they're all like virtue signaling. Like don't get me wrong, it's an important thing to point out. Obviously, of course, but it's just. Is it just me, or is it just because this thing has become popular, everyone's just jumping on the bandwagon?
Well, the thing is, it's always been popular to want to protect women from any kind of harm, as well as it should be, right? It should always be popular to protect victims.
Yeah.
But the thing is that's again why it's not a rape culture, because it's popular to protect women. As in, how do you identify a villain, right? He's the man that's tying the woman to the train tracks. Or he's the man that steals the woman and locks her in a tower. Yeah. That's who the villain is. It's Bowser, right? And the hero is the person that goes and frees the woman from the train tracks, or goes and rescues the woman from the tower.
Or what was his name? Spinach Guy.
Spinach Guy.
You know him?
What, Salad Fingers?
No, Popeye.
Oh, right, him, right, yeah, and he saved Macy or something.
From the train track, yeah.
What was her name?
I can't remember, mate. I know what she looks like.
Yeah, like that. This is the patriarchy. We can't even remember Popeye's girlfriend's name.
Yeah, but she does that whole frantic.
Yeah. Ah! Yeah, that's just who women are, isn't it? Did you not watch that growing up and thinking I want to be just like that?
To be honest, I probably thought it was a spinach advert. It was just like for my muscles.
But anyway, yeah, it's like, you know, the girl that I spoke to recently, as well as other girls, it just reminded me to bring this up, that they hate the Me Too movement. I think it does. Like, for genuine victims, I don't think they feel empowered. I think they feel forgotten. I think they feel mocked, because this movement, which said that it cared about actual women who have been viciously, horribly sexually abused, it turned into a joke that was basically an excuse to be a witch hunt, right? You know, and the thing is, we know what happens when you give girls the power to destroy people at the point of a finger, right? This movement may well start with guys that pointing fingers, but there's no one that girls hate more than other girls.
True fact, I can vouch.
Right? See, if you look up the original witch trials, it was girls who hated each other because they were jealous of each other.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh, this woman has, you know, that lovely life with that man. I don't like that, so I'm going to accuse her of witchcraft. Right? See, the thing that feminists should be afraid of is that if you start, you know, empowering women with the ability to put anyone behind bars with a mere accusation, they're going to use it against each other.
Women are scary.
Women are very scary, right? Have you noticed how, like, I don't know, the male mantids, right? They are fine, but the females, they eat them after sex. Have you noticed how the Black Widow kills her mate? Have you noticed how the mosquito, right? The male likes to eat flowers and the female likes to kill billions of people, right? Your gender is fucking weird. I'm becoming a MGTOW. Yeah.
Oh, it has to be a lot moodier than that, mate. You have to be like, women do this, women.
Yeah. No. MGTOWs. Right. See, MGTOWs, I think they're just annoying, because, like, feminists, again, now we were talking about romance and put a little passion into it. Feminists put passion into it. Feminists are like, I hate all men, I'm going to burn them all to the ground and then use their bodies to erect a statue in females' honour, right? Whereas MGTOWs are like, I'm just never going to talk to him again. Right? Like, I'm going to go and live in a house where no women are there and then I can be my best self. Like, it's just, like, I hate when people watch my videos, like, 10 male privileges or the reality of feminism or something, and then write, like, oh, these bitches, this is why the world would be better off without women and stuff. And it was like, no, you fucking idiots. I deliberately put a lot of women in these videos to make the point that yes, feminism is a huge problem, but there are women fighting it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and it brings us back to talking about that girl in World of Warcraft. She's fighting it, right? We need girls to fight it, because the truth is that men are not strong enough to fight this. Men are not strong enough to stand up to women collectively. They're not. When it comes to women, men are pussies.
Yeah, they can stand up to other men and die in trenches, sure.
Yeah, they can stand up to other men in any manner of ways. See when they see another man hurting a woman, they'll do whatever they can to destroy that man. Whereas when it's, a woman hurting another man, they don't know what the fuck to do. They're just like, mate, that's just not my problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, Karen Strawn, said that men will have to shout to be heard, even by other men. And she was right. So, final thoughts on Me Too? Like, what do you think? Do you think that this girl that I met, do you think she's right? Do you think she's wrong?
I think she's right. I mean, I'm agreeing with Liam Neeson. It's just basically becoming a witch hunt. Like I said, it should be a thing. You shouldn't be afraid to say, "Oh, I went through."
No one should ever be afraid to say that they went through something, but they shouldn't trivialize abuse by claiming things that are not abuse or in the same league.
And they shouldn't be angry if they don't automatically get believed.
Well, the thing is, right? See,
do you know what I mean? Like,
what's very, very important here is that you can, right? And I know this for a fact. It's an issue close to my heart, right? You can get all the help you need to recover from sexual abuse without infringing upon anyone else's rights, okay? Feminists basically say that if you don't automatically believe a woman and put a man behind bars, then you essentially are calling her a liar and you're suggesting that she doesn't deserve any help. No, that's not true. Okay? You can give a woman or a man all the help they need to recover from sexual abuse without ever taking away the right of due process. Okay? So you will be believed in terms of therapists and doctors and psychiatrists and counsellors, people who will help you move past this. But you can't be automatically believed in a court. Because as I said, if you give women the ability to put other people behind bars, in the long run, the people who are really going to suffer are going to be other women. Because there's nobody, and feminism proves this, there's nobody that women hate more than other women.